What is up, everybody? My name is Viola. I am the host of the Cerebral System here on YouTube, on the TransenDID channel. I'm trying to figure out this intro still, I'm sorry. On this channel, we discuss DID topics, various different aspects of DID, including roles, alters, inner world systems, and various different things. We also do vlogs, gaming, and various other types of content. This is another introduction video, and this one is going to be a little bit harder and a little bit heavy. Sorry if I'm a little out of it. I was doing an inner dialogue about a system matter that involves possibly a new other, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been kind of bugging me for a little bit because I keep hearing a specific name, but I don't know if it's my own brain creating it or if it's an actual other, because some personal stuff's been going down lately and things happen. The other I'm going to talk about today is Wallace. I've mentioned Wallace several times. He is a protector, and he is a demonic other, which I think is pretty neat. Technically, he's mentioned to me that he's only half demon, but he's still technically a demonic alter in appearance and general, attitude. Wallace is tall. I think he's like 6'6", 6'7". He's not a small dude. He is muscular. He has long black hair and grayish blue skin, I think. It's kind of like this weird ash gray color, but I like to say grayish blue because in certain lights it's kind of that tinge. He has black sclera with white color where his eyes are. As for example, mine are hazel. His are a white color. He also has white pupils, which I think is very unique to him. Similar to Lulu, he has ram horns. So, I did ask at one point if he was related, and he said, not in a million years. There's no way I'm related to her. But in a way, I kind of see a little bit of resemblance there. I don't know. His main job, of course, is protector, as I mentioned. He is one of the few who was actually the first to front that I kind of realized, which I have a story about. And he is very good at his job. I'm going to be 100% real with you guys. He is the first... He's like... Okay, think of it like an army. He's the guys on the front line. He's always there, kind of keeping watch on things. And in his words, he does not miss anything. So, what exactly does he do as a protector? He protects. That's honestly all I can really say. I believe he's more of a physical assault protector, which is more than if I'm getting hit, he is going to try to protect me. And I believe that this was probably due to a lot of childhood bullying, a lot of issues with when I was a kid, with a lot of different stuff. He's generally very protective in that way, but he's also protective over words. So he's kind of an all-around good protector. The story I'm going to tell you guys, actually, I don't want anyone to think badly of my friend who did this. He was just goofing around, and things took a turn. This was actually my first experience with legitimately switching that I'm, emotionally and physically aware of. So, I was hanging out with two friends. My best friend, Jeremy, who I talked about before, he's currently in the military, which, I hear he does not like very much, and I feel really bad. I miss the dude. I miss us hanging out and going on trips and stuff. It was fun. Anyway, I've known the dude for years, and we were in Bennett, Colorado, in a small neighborhood, just kind of chilling, waiting for one of our other friends to get off the phone. So Jeremy, on a whim, decides to do a 1-inch punch on my chest. Now, a 1-inch punch, for those who don't know, say this is your chest right here. A 1-inch punch is, you have your hand like this and boom. It's like a very full force, sort of, like all of your weight gets put behind that. It is a deadly punch, as well as a very powerful one. He did that to me right here, right on my sternum. And, he, obviously was worrying if I was okay, because I instantly grabbed my chest, and I could hear my own heartbeat. That is not a good sign. But the way I explain this is I saw dark rings go around my eyesight, and I kind of went like, here's my eyes, here's me. I kind of went back into my own head, which is not something I'm used to seeing. I like to compare it to a big mascot head. And this is kind of my first experience with, you know, being kind of like, I guess it would be technically confronting in that regard, because I could still see what was happening, but I couldn't do anything about it. And I didn't understand it at the time, so I kind of just thought, like, maybe I nearly blacked out or something. But, I'm watching it all go down, and I'm hearing everything as well. I'm faintly hearing my friend say, "Hey, are you okay?" And all I'm hearing from my ears are my own heartbeat and a growl. Now, a growl usually would signify something like Bastiel, who is very animalistic. However, this was a very guttural, like, anger that I don't think I've ever heard from myself. And my friends said, and I don't know if they were exaggerating, they said I moved like lightning. Like, I flipped around and charged at him, screaming, and like, it was compared to a near roar with how loud I was. And they mentioned that my pupils were very large, like they had basically overtaken my eyes at this point. I'm going off what they told me. I don't know if that's really remotely true. I'm kind of doubting it. But they basically mentioned that I didn't seem like I was in control of myself, and our other friend said he would have had to step in and try to stop me if Jeremy did not grab my wrists and let me kind of just like yell in his face. You know, I kind of realized that that was actually Wallace when he explained that, you know, it's his job to deal with this sort of situation, and he didn't know that it was my friend who did it and they didn't mean any harm by it. He thought it was somebody who just kind of popped up out of nowhere and decided, hey, let's mess with the trans chick, and decided to do something about it. The reason I say he's good at his job is that I didn't even know what happened. Now I know, and, you know, I give him credit for jumping in because he thought something was wrong. And the thing is, I didn't really feel any physical pain, but it was like a major shock to my entire system, which I think is what kind of stirred him forward. It was a very unique experience, and I was very tired afterwards. Like, I just kind of sat on the ground, and I kept saying sorry over and over, like, because I thought it was my fault. I thought I did something that, you know, and I was very scared that my friend was going to hate me for it or something, but no. Now that I have a better understanding, I'm kind of realizing that, you know, it was just something that happened. You know, it was a switch, and, you know, it hasn't happened that way since I worked at KFC. Oh boy, that's a whole nother video. There was a lot of switches going on at KFC. That was bad, honestly. And that was even before I knew any of this, too. So a lot of stuff happened before I knew what DID was. And ultimately, I'm kind of realizing just how often he switched in to deal with things, and how many times other people switched in to deal with things. And oh man, there's a lot to cover there. I gotta really dig deep into that one and do some research, figure out who did what, because I still have a scar on my hand from something that happened at that job. Anyway, long story short, Wallace does his job. He does it well, and he is definitely one of my strongest protectors. That being said, he obviously lives in the dark zone. He lives in the part that's closest to the entrance, because he does front more than the others. And he does like to come out occasionally and say hello and deal with things. But that being said, he does like solitude, which is completely fair. He's a little bit frightening to look at in comparison to my others. He's definitely the most demonic looking, I would say. Even compared to Hans, who is very terrifying in his own right, it is, he is much more scary, especially when he's angry. That is something that I think is the most frightening to people. All that being said, that's all I got for this one. I kind of want to introduce you guys to Wallace, where he lives and everything. Usually I'll describe, like, houses and stuff. I don't know what his house is like. I don't know where he lives like, what kind of place he lives in. All I know is his basic job, his appearance, and the area. And I hope that story wasn't too off-putting. It's a hard story to tell. You know, I don't like the kind of violent side of things, but, you know, if it's a protection kind of deal, I get it. You know, it was a misunderstanding as well. You know, they are people. This is kind of something that happens. And we've had a recent understanding to not jump to conclusions anymore. And it's been better that way. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you stopping by. Always do. If you like what we do here, like, comment, subscribe, all that good kind of stuff. It really helps us out a lot, especially with this algorithm. It is a mess. But remember, you're beautiful, you're valid, you're important. That is very, very, very important to me and everyone up here. And I will see you in the next video that I make. So until then, goodbye.